Now, this gentleman that you talked about, the Supreme Court,
Alexandre de Moraes.
Now, is he the same one? Again, I'm exposing my ignorance here, so forgive me. Is he the same one who's at odds with Musk?
Yes.
Okay, so it is this. Okay, that's what I assumed. I just want to make sure okay, so why don't you unravel that story for us? You started going down that road and said that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what role is the Supreme Court playing in Brazil at the moment, and why is it that Musk got embroiled in this very, very public, internationally public argument with the Brazilian Supreme Court? Explain that.
Because Alexandre de Moraes, he was the chairman of the Electoral Court, and he was too aggressive in the 2022 elections, mainly. In the 2022 elections, what happened? Around 100 conservative profiles on Twitter got blocked. To be blocked in Brazil, our law says that you need to give to the other side, to the users, the right to defend himself. And the platform has 48 hours to block someone. This is general law in Brazil. What was happening in Brazil is Alexandre de Moraes was ordering Twitter and some other platforms, I guess, because I'm not that dumb to think it was happening only with Twitter.
Right.
So he was addressing orders to Twitter saying, block this and that people in 1 hour. If you don't do that, I will fine you in, it was, I can tell you, around $20,000, $30,000 to start. It was a huge fine,
Yeah.
daily, if you do not accomplish with his orders. But the main thing is, Alexandre de Moraes ordered, according with Glenn Greenwald, journalist, articles that came up like a couple of months ago, Alexandre de Moraes was saying to Twitter platform, do not tell the users that are getting blocked that this order is coming from me.
Oh, yeah.
This is key because during 2022 elections, Brazilians got pissed off with Twitter because you get your cell phone and then there is a black screen saying you were blocked because you violated one of our internal policies.
Sure.
And then you say, but what post did I do that makes me be blocked in the platform? You don't know.
These are the candidates you're speaking of?
No, everybody in general.
I see. So this was happening quite broadly?
You have candidates, you have regular people, you have influencers, you have YouTubers like Luciano Hang, for example, who is a very strong supporter of my father. He's a billionaire. He got blocked in this situation. So you are getting outside. Imagine in the United States, you are going to run for president and you cannot see what Tucker Carlson, Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan, what they are posting or producing on their platforms. This was the situation in Brazil.
Right.
So I'm adding
they
one more
blocked Trump
factor.
too when he was president, so that's quite remarkable.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Elon, he bought Twitter right between the first and the second round of the Brazilian election in October of 2022. That's why we know all of that nowadays.
Right.
1 year ago, we would be still pissed off with Twitter.
Right.
But why? Elon Musk started a fight, months ago with Alexandre de Moraes. Alexandre de Moraes, this justice of the Supreme Court, he has a Twitter account. And he was talking about something, posting his opinion or whatever about something. And then Elon come and commented, why are you demanding so much censorship in Brazil?
Oh, yeah.
Boom, then the things start. The chairman of the Justice Committee of the House of the US Congress, Mr. Jim Jordan, he asked Elon Musk to give all the emails changed with the Brazilian authorities during the 2022 election period of time.
Oh, yeah.
With these emails, now we know, after the report of Jim Jordan in the US Congress, you have around 500 pages in this report, you know that Alexandre de Moraes, the Electoral Court was sending emails to Twitter saying to block people. And some of the people, for example, the journalist Paulo Figueiredo, he only knew why he was blocked in 2022 looking to these reports. So this is the level of censorship that we had. And this is the problem because this is not only about Brazil.
Oh, that's for sure.
Europe authorities,
Yeah.
Alexandre de Moraes and some other authorities of Brazil, they do speeches in Paris, in London, in New York. They are spreading the virus. And you have some press articles saying that some of the European authority, they were looking closely this fight between Alexandre de Moraes and Elon Musk to copy to Europe.
Yeah.
Because what
for
happened,
sure.
now I would shock with the Americans that don't know this story deeply. I'm talking about Twitter, Elon Musk against Alexandre de Moraes, right?
America's healthcare system is lacking in any real care. Insurance companies regularly deny progressive treatment options, primary care physicians refuse to order comprehensive lab work, and the standards of care lag years behind the leading research. That's where Marek Health comes in. Marek Health represents a paradigm shift in how we approach medicine. The premier health optimization platform, Marek Health empowers you to maximize your longevity and performance with the confidence that comes from having experts in your back pocket. They offer cutting-edge diagnostic labs, concierge health coaching, and expert clinical oversight. They help you achieve your health and fitness goals by leveraging data-driven lifestyle and nutrition recommendations, along with supplement and prescription treatment options. If you're listening to this show, then you're probably a proponent of taking your health into your own hands. That's why we've teamed up with Marek Health to offer a turnkey optimization package designed for those who want to maximize their performance and longevity with the most elaborate testing on the market. You'll receive extensive lab work, thorough lab reports, video calls with Marek's health experts, and expedited onboarding. Go to marekhealth.com/Peterson and use code Peterson to get the same panel and medical oversight I get and save 10% at checkout. That's marekhealth.com/Peterson and use code Peterson at checkout.
Well, there was a top EU official whose name escapes me at the moment, unfortunately, who complained, although apparently not with the full authority of the EU, about the fact that Musk was talking to Trump.
Come again?
That he complained using his EU...
A Brazilian one?
No, you're an EU representative. Unfortunately, I can't remember his name. We'll put it in the notes. But he complained that Musk was talking to Trump. Right, so this...
What is the crime in that? What is the crime?
The House of Representatives in the U.S. actually wrote a response letter, and I think it was Jim Jordan who signed it, telling him to really mind his own bloody business, as he should have. And the EU, to their credit, did separate themselves technically from him, although I don't know the entire background of the story. But the reason I'm bringing it up is because that it lends credence to your claim that the EU bureaucrats, who are not the least bit happy with Elon Musk, and the same thing could be said about the UK, especially the Labour Party there, right? They're definitely Musk's enemies and will do whatever they need to stop him. And so, and that is being played out in Brazil. That's part of the reason why I think this podcast should be of broad interest to, to the international community. So,
because as Brazil, we have this special case because the censorship is coming through the hands of one of the justices of the Supreme Court, and also Alexandre de Moraes fined Twitter, and the first response of Twitter is that they're not going to pay this fine, but after 1 month they paid to get it back again Twitter in Brazil because they were banned. So the European authorities, like the woke people, the progressive, they were enjoying that. Oh, wait a minute. So if we do that through the hands of the courts, maybe we can control Elon Musk, and force them to censorship whoever I want.
Yeah.
So this is the point. And what I would say that was shocking is that to do that, Alexandre de Moraes not only banned Twitter, he threatened to arrest the Twitter team in Brazil.
Right, yes, I remember that.
So that's why, thanks President of Argentina, Javier Milei, he offered asylum to this kind of people. They said publicly through Twitter, if the Brazilians want to come to Argentina, they are more than welcome, because here we do preserve the freedom and the free speech and all of that. Yes. So thank you, Javier Milei, the greatest president of Latin America by far. And the second thing is Alexandre de Moraes freezed some of the resources of Starlink.
Yes, well,
But
yes,
Starlink wasn't in the
so
dispute.
the Europeans are toying with that too. I've looked at some of their background legislation, and the fine structures, Canada is playing with this too, by the way, under the auspices of a bill called C-63, which is the most totalitarian piece of legislation I've ever seen written in the West by a large margin. Way worse than nefarious Bill C-16. That was just the warm-up. In any case, the fines that are being proposed in Bill C-63, which I imagine will be somewhat of a template for the impending war against Musk, involve percentages of company revenue worldwide. Like, I think in the Canadian bill, it's 6% of company revenue worldwide per day. Revenue, not profit, revenue. Well, and then the question is, well, is it X revenue or is it X revenue and Starlink revenue and Tesla revenue? And well, you can be certain that that'll be interpreted in the most liberal manner possible.
Because Elon is not the owner of Starlink. He has, I guess, 42% of the company, but he's not the owner. You have way other people around in the same company.
Details. Yeah.
And Bill Ackman, some other billionaires start to complain, wait. This thing of the Brazilian Supreme Court is too far. It's too much power on only one person's hands. And it can be very dangerous because we know how dictatorship starts. And when they start, usually they have support of part of the people. But on the next day, the supporters will be the target of the dictator.
Yeah, that's for sure.
In all the dictatorships, it happens.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that are happening in this dispute with Twitter. And that's also why the US Congress, they are giving their attention to Brazil. And nowadays, we have a bill from the Representative Maria Elvira Salazar from Florida. It was approved in the committees of the House and is ready to be voted from the House. We only need that the chairman, Mike Johnson, to put that to be voted. And this bill says that if any foreigner authority do not respect the First Amendment of an American citizen outside of US, they will lose their visa to come to US.
The country?
Yeah. For example, if a Brazilian authority do not respect the free speech of Elon Musk or any other American, he is not able to come into and enter the United States. He will lose his visa. So this bill, we hope that is going to be approved in the House, because after that, I'm sure that the US administration, even more with Trump, I'm always supporting Trump, that it can be applied, fully applied.
Right.
It's a way to avoid this kind of authority because they have too much power. They are doing whatever they want, even with American companies. And come on, Twitter is following all of the American and US law. Why the Brazilian Supreme Court is banning Twitter outside of Brazil. So it's a way to force people to respect the law. If the Brazilian authorities, if they were respecting the law...
Well, the war is really going to be... So Americans arguably have the most potent protection for free speech rights in the world. I think that's a reasonable thing to say. I mean, countries like Britain, European countries, there's a tradition of free speech, but our free speech protections in Canada are very weak by comparison, very weak. And that's certainly been demonstrated in recent years. We have a Charter of Rights, but it's got so many loopholes in it that, and administratively and technically, that, I mean, should I say it's not worth the paper it's written on? I'd probably say that. In any case, that's not the case in the US, because the right to free speech is extremely well protected. And so what we're going to see really is like a war in cyberspace between the principles of American law fundamentally and the principles that govern the rest of the world, because the American social media companies dominate and they run, especially X, on the principle of free speech. And so that's another reason why the situation in Brazil and in the European Union is so incredibly important. Now, this Supreme Court official, how does he derive his power? How long is he in office? Like, where does he get his legitimacy and his authority? And how is he regarded by Brazilians?